Hey there and welcome. My name is Carlos Beritz and in this video we are going to talk about backgrounds. But not the 5th edition idea of backgrounds. We are actually talking about more in the backstory, more what plenty still call background, but just to be sure that it's not the one strictly from D&D and that actually have mechanical implications. And the first thing that I want to say is that there is no right or wrong approach for writing your backstories, your background. And I will be presenting two very extreme cases, and they are not the only ones possible. There is an spectrum. So one extreme will be someone that really writes very long ones, and the other one will be people that write 2 or 3 words and that's it. But you might be the kind of person that likes writing 1 page, 1 paragraph, 5 pages. So you are not neither in one nor the other spectrum. So by the two extremes, what I mean is the first one is what I will call the novelist. The novelist is the kind of person that really likes to flesh out every detail of their characters beforehand. They make their backstories, their backgrounds as rich and as detailed as possible, even going to the 5th generation of their second cousin or of the daycare that they went and all of that. They really try to think about everything and every single detail that they can. This is great for some approaches, like if you are a GM that likes sandboxy games, it can make your life much easier because you already have all these details that you can tie things to. But it's not for all kinds of games. So it is very good because it gives the GM more information beforehand. But there are some games that do not benefit from it, and it's kind of tough to expect the GM to remember all of that and read all 20 pages of your background, apart from all the creation of the world, I would say. And the other one is the very opposite approach. It's what I will call the minimalist. The minimalist, they just have a basic idea of what they think or what they want for their characters. And actually, it can be as minimalist as like 2 or 3 bullet points, or a simple paragraph with 3 to 4 lines, and that's it. But it's not bad. It does not mean that they do not like their character, they do not put effort into their character and into the game. It's more that usually they prefer to discover their character while they are playing, and then actually having all that fleshed out and thought out beforehand. They like that connection and discovering the character as the game progresses. So one thing that is very good is that it makes it much more open to the GM to create stuff and to discuss with this kind of people, so that you have much more space for creativity and to tying in different ways or in something that you had already planned as a GM, but actually it was not already tied to another character, and then you can create together with this one that only have a basic idea. And what I will say is that, as you can see, I mentioned that they work with the GM, because the GM and the players, they have to work in tandem. They have to work together so that every player and everyone, because the GM for me is also a kind of player, they can benefit from the game. So the main difference is that one will give more information upfront to the GM so they can prepare and think about their next adventures or the campaign. And the other one is more something that you will discover and you will tie and you will create that personality actually for that character as you progress. So the minimalists, usually they have an idea of the personality, but it's not completely fleshed out why they are like that. They will develop it as they feel the character. It does not mean that the novelist does not discover the character as well. They have all the idea, all the information from the past, and they have already as well an idea of what they want how they want their character to behave, but they still will feel some ways and they still will advance and evolve their character and feel how they interact with the party to maybe change the impact of that previous happening that actually did not impact as they first imagined. And what I will say is that for both of them, actually, I want to see more of some things for backstories. Usually I do not see plenty of still living connections between the players and their past. It does not mean that living connection needs to be family, but it's nice when it happens, or some old friend, or it can be also places and objects that really tied and they are really special for the characters, so that it makes the job of the DM easier to get the feel of how their characters are, how are the motivation of that characters, and actually I guess that it helps to the players to have also an idea if you have some connections to the world, because ideally you already have discussed in a session 0 how the world will be and how this campaign will play, because usually you do not have that much background if you're playing a one-shot. It's more for a campaign, for a longer game. So you have already a session 0, that is very important. I have a video about session 0. Do not skip it, it's a very important part of the game. And when you have already this idea of the world, having that connections from the players, from their past, from the past of their characters, helps to identify how that characters will feel inside the world and how the GM can motivate the players to go in some quests. Also, another thing is that since you have already an idea of from where the players came, also in that backstory, you usually will have something that is the goals. They do not need to be a very specific one, but usually helps when they have a very specific goal, because it helps to tie that up with the story. And even if it makes that you feel that goal early, it can be a way also that if you do not feel to continue with that character, you can then go finish that goal, and since they finished it, you create another character and you get them in the party and continue with your game. You do not need to have one character through the whole campaign. Some, like the first campaign from Critical Role had something like that as well, and the second also they changed some characters, or they have characters that appear and go on and go off, and that's it. So with having a clear goal, a clear personal character goal, that do not put them in conflict with the other players, it's important to have that, and having clear connections with some places, some objects, or also some people, you will have a much better idea of what you want for your character, and the GM will also have a much better idea of how they can tie your characters to the world, so that both can work in tandem to have a better game. So that's the video. If you like the video, like the damn video, share, subscribe. You know how internet works. I have an itch.io page, a store with my supplements and games that you should check out. I have a very new gemless game that you can check. And I see you in the next video. So, see ya!